I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. As Donald Trump continues to lose big in the various court cases where he's either a criminal or civil defendant, his conduct is getting even more unhinged, dangerous, bizarre, and deranged, if that's even possible. I want to show you the post that Donald Trump has made after he had two major court losses, both in New York, just happened. So first, Donald Trump lost a major motion in federal court in New York where E. Jean Carroll was granted summary judgment. So the federal judge found as a matter of law that Donald Trump engaged in the defamatory conduct. All a jury will need to decide in January is damages. E. Jean Carroll prevailed on her summary judgment motion. Also in New York State Court Judge Arthur Engoron rejected Donald Trump's attempt to try to delay New York Attorney General Letitia James' $250 million fraud valuation claim against Donald Trump. That will be going to trial October 2nd. Both major losses for Donald Trump. So he goes on a social media platform and he whines like a little petulant third grade fascist. I'm not just going to show you what Donald Trump posted. I want to compare it to what President Joe Biden is doing and saying as well. So here's what Donald Trump writes. He goes, "They spied on my campaign, impeached me twice, had the Russia hoax, the fake dossier hoax, FISA fraud, election fraud, the no collusion Mueller hoax, and so much more. I was innocent on all counts. If I am elected, they will be brought to justice." And he puts that in caps because he thinks that makes him sound like a tough guy. Something that Republicans have always been afraid to do. As I mentioned on another video, at this point, Donald Trump is basically just making sounds like Russia, Mueller, Russia. That at some point it's just going to be like goo goo gaga, and you're still going to have like the Republican Party, which is now the MAGA Republican Party, be like, "That's brilliant. Give this man the nuclear code." It's like, what in the world is going on, folks? Like, even if you remove for the second that he's a malignant, narcissistic, criminal, treasonous traitor, misogynistic, go on, so forth and so on. This is just freaking weird behavior for any human being to engage in. Here's Donald Trump's next post. He goes, has been Ann Coulter is a stone cold loser. That's how he's spending his time. I mean, she was a right-wing commentator. I think she still is. Has been Ann Coulter is a stone cold loser. Oh, okay. Like, that's what you're talking about. Donald Trump's next post. For 7 years, Mike Pence only spoke well of me. Now he's decided to go to the dark side. Why didn't he do this years before? Just like, why didn't DOJ and deranged Jack Smith bring these fake indictments 3 years ago? Why did they wait until the middle of my campaign where I'm beating De Sanctimonious and all others badly and beating Biden? You're not beating Biden, number one. And beating De Sanctimonious is not exactly worthy of a trophy. De Sanctimonious, DeSantis, whatever you call this guy, is like the single worst candidate ever. He is a complete and total loser and like everything, and just really weird as well. Well, I think I agree. Mike Pence should have not supported you earlier, but I think it took the time where you tried to murder him that made him go, you know what? I'm not going to fully support the guy who murdered me. By the way, Pence is like, I'd still vote for the guy who wanted to murder me, but Pence is like, I'm just not going to be that supportive. But if I have to vote for the guy who attempted murder on me, I'll give him the vote because the MAGA Republicans are spineless, but that may be a reason. Also, Jack Smith wasn't even appointed until November of 2022, and Jack Smith has engaged in a diligent investigation, has produced millions of records. Here's Donald Trump's next post. He posts a letter that he received in 1987 from Richard Nixon, where Richard Nixon says, "I did not see the program, but Mrs. Nixon told me that you were great on the Donahue show." Why are you posting this? Like, what is it that you are doing here? Compare this to what is President Biden posting and doing. President Biden, America is now in one of the strongest job creation periods in the history of our country. It's no accident. Its results. President Biden posts, lowering prescription drug costs is part of a much broader vision for our country, growing the economy from the middle out and the bottom up. not from the top down. Donald Trump writes, he reposts a photo of an AI mugshot of him that says Trump is a legend. Like, that's very bizarre behavior. And then Trump goes, all in caps, indict your political opponent, the newest tool in the Democrats' toolbox of corruption. By the way, Donald Trump then went on the Hewitt right-wing radio program show, and then Donald Trump said that he can do anything that he wants to do, whatever he wants to do. The Presidential Records Act claims that he can break every law. If you don't believe me, here, just listen to what Donald Trump said in his own words. Play this clip.
Did you direct anyone to move the boxes, Mr. President? Did you tell anyone to move the boxes?
I don't talk about anything. You know why? Because I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I come under the Presidential Records Act. I'm not telling you. Every time I talk to you, I have a breaking story. You don't have any story. I come under the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to do everything I did.
If you have to go to trial, will you testify in your own defense?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You'll take the stand.
That I look forward to, because that's just like Russia. That's all the fake information from Russia. Remember when the dossier came out and everyone said, that's so terrible. And then it turned out to be, it was a political report put out by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. They paid millions for it. They gave it to Christopher Steele. They paid millions and millions of dollars for it, and it was all fake.
No, I think that obstruction charge is going to get the trial, Mr. President. I think that.
I'll testify.
Okay, if you do, and they ask you on the stand, did you order anyone to move boxes? How will you answer?
I'm not answering that question for you, but I'm totally covered under the law.
Okay.
If you read the Presidential Records Act, just read it. You take a look at it. I'm totally covered under the law. It's a civil act. It's civil. Now, Biden had no civil act. The things he did are criminal, but he doesn't have a deranged person on his case. They gave me deranged Jack Smith.
Okay, and now compare that to what President Biden said in a post, a video of President Biden talking about Bidenomics. Play the clip.
Creating jobs and lowering costs for hardworking families, that's Bidenomics.
Okay, and just so you see the difference again, Trump, Biden, Trump, speaking of the E. Jean Carroll case, this was Donald Trump at his deposition in the E. Jean Carroll case, where the federal judge just found that Donald Trump was liable in the second defamation case against Donald Trump that's set to go to trial in January. Trump already lost a $5 million verdict where a jury found that he engaged in sexual abuse and defamation. This is the second case. But here's the deposition that was part of the evidence where Donald Trump was found liable by a jury in the first case. Here, play this clip.
And you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's. If you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
Okay, and just so we could have like a cleanser after watching that, here's what President Biden posted. Insulin costs $10 to make, but companies have charged 30 times that amount for too long. Now seniors on Medicare are paying $35 a month, and I won't stop until that applies to every American. President Biden is posting over 340,000 veteran survivors are already benefiting from the PACT Act just 1 year after it was signed. Veterans are getting the health care they deserve in every corner of the country. President Biden is showing, he posts this photograph of Trump saying Trump admits infrastructure promise isn't happening. Biden details infrastructure decade that will create millions of American jobs. Folks, I just show you the contrast. You can make the decision. Put in the comments how you feel. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers. Let's get there by the end of the year. Please subscribe to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel and have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.